Okay, so today I'm going to tell you how you can get a better pork sandwich. And you're going to do so using a couple of basic psychological concepts. The concepts of reciprocation and concession. Now, reciprocation, simply put, means that human beings are hardwired to reciprocate like behaviour. In other words, if you're nice to me, I'm much more inclined to be nice back to you, and vice versa. What you give is what you get. Concession revolves around the idea that when I do a favour for you, something nice for you, you not only want to return that favour, but you want to give it back in spades. In other words, you want to outbid me. You want to do a bigger favour back for me than what I did for you. You want your favour bank to be fuller than my favour bank. Now, there are strong and simple evolutionary reasons for this, of course, and they're mostly to do with your ability to gain cooperation. That's been a very big part of the success of our species. The ability to cooperate and work collectively is one of the reasons we came down out of the trees in the first place. Okay, so how does this translate to the pork sandwich? Well, when I go to my pork sandwich shop, it's always very busy. There's about 6 women behind the counter. They're, carving up the roasts at behind the bain-maries, getting the sandwiches out, all that kind of stuff. I'm standing in a line, and what will happen is normally I've got my newspaper on my phone or something. A woman will say, okay, who's next? And I'll go, oh, that's me. I'd like a pork sandwich, please, with crackling, with gravy, and with apple sauce, thanks. And I go back to my paper. Now, she might proffer something else, like, oh, do you want salt and pepper with that, or whatever, to which I'll just look up again and go, yes, please, and go back. Okay, what sort of a sandwich do you think that gets me? Well, I'll tell you, it gets me a very ordinary sandwich. It gets me a sandwich which is smack in the middle of the bell curve. Now, of course, they're making hundreds of these sandwiches a day. The whole aim is to get them smack in the middle of the bell curve, but that's not the sandwich I want. I want a sandwich which is out at the edges. I want an extreme sandwich. How do I get it? Okay, so second time around, when I'm standing in the line, I don't have my head down, my head is up. I'm standing erect. When the woman says, who's next, please, I look to either side of me and check, even though I know they are being served, I check that the people on either side of me are right. And then I say, oh, that must be me. Then I look her in the eye and I say, good morning, how are you? Now, she immediately wants to reciprocate, and she does so by drawing herself up bigger and looking me back in the eye and saying, I'm very well, thanks, how are you? Now, a really interesting thing has happened here, and it's a status transaction. I've given her status by using manners, yeah? And she's accepted that status and expressed it through her body in one of the simplest ways that we express status transactions. She's taken up more room. High status takes up more room. The interesting thing about this transaction, though, is that it's raised my status at the same time because I've used manners. And what does my use of good manners imply about me? It implies lots of things about me. It implies things about the way I was brought up, what my parents were like, what my level of education was, my cultural background, heaps and heaps of things. Okay, so now we've got a different relationship going on. She says to me, what would you like today? I say, I'd like a pork sandwich, please. I'd like it with applesauce and gravy, and can I have some crackling, please? Okay, great. She bends down, she's starting to make the sandwich. Now, she's reciprocated. Yes, I've been nice to her, she's tried to be nice back. But here's where the concession comes in. She feels as if she has to go further. So she makes an offer back to me. She tries to make a conversation. She says something like, oh, and how's your day been? To which I'll reply something along the lines of, oh, it's been great, thanks, but busy. But gee, I come in here and I look at you ladies, every time I come in here I think, God, these girls go hard. I wouldn't be able to do your job. Now we've got a conversation happening. Immediately, one of her co-workers joins in, and it's not long before 3 or 4 of them are talking to me with very little effort or further energy required from me. What sort of a sandwich does this get me? This, friends, gets me a sandwich I can't jump over. It's a mega sandwich. It's an epic sandwich. I've got more meat than I can eat. I've got heaps of crackling. 3 or 4 of them have been putting crackling onto it. I've got those little endy bits full of fat that I love so much. In other words, I've got the sandwich I want. And I got it simply through the use of reciprocation and concession. Maybe you'd like to try it for yourself and maybe you'll remember the words of my dear old mum, who used to say to me, Brian, darling, good manners will get you away with blue murder. Maybe she was right.